you guys, it's your girl Dosh coming back to you from Real Takes. Today I'll be doing a review on episode 7 of Black Lightning. This one titled Equinox, A Book of Fate. As you all know from last episode, it was a great episode, one of my favorites so far. I love that now it is out. Jefferson, aka Black Lightning, knows that his daughter now has powers. That ending was awesome. I can't say it enough because I so enjoyed watching that scene where they're interacting in the midst of a fight or a battle, and unbeknownst to either one of them not knowing who the other was. Granted, the mother did, she picked up on her daughter very easily, and then of course, Jefferson figuring out, okay, she has power, she's like you. Now, coming into the beginning of the episode, they take her, of course, to Peter Gamby's, place, and they check her. She checks her vitals and everything and all that. And she's like, I'm fine. She had a bruise on her back. It instantly healed. And she's just like, honey, please don't get wrapped up in this. I know you're trying to do it. And she's just like, and her daughter, of course, had a moment where she forgot she was the child. And she basically told her mother, do you have powers? Can you shoot lightning out of you? Then you don't understand what I'm going through. And that is true. She does not, but she does know from a standpoint, being that she's watched her husband, the man she loves, deal with this and the ramifications of his actions over the years. Now, throughout the episode, you see those talks between her mom, and her father. Now, also parts within the episode were just kind of seeing, the difference of the situation with Gamby and Jefferson. It's coming to a head a little bit because now Jefferson is having an issue believing that Gamby does not know as much as he's telling. And granted, as you all, as the viewers, knows that he's not telling him everything. He knows a lot more. After they had that little meeting, him and Lady Eve, saying he taught her everything she knows, or whichever, right there. How far back does his, knowing the situation with Jefferson, saying he's known him since he was a little boy. So that's right where we kind of have that inkling of like, okay, you're tickering on good and evil. Are you a good guy? Are you only invested in Jefferson, since he was a little boy because of what you might have had a hand in? And that's kind of where I am with Peter Gamby. I like his character, but honestly, if he does not come clean, it's going to backfire on him, and it's not going to be a good thing because he knows exactly what Jefferson can do, and when he's pushed further, as you can see, it can get out of hand. Hinted how he wanted to go down and take care of Tobias, and if it wasn't for his, his ex-wife to take him off that ledge, literally, he would have probably killed him and his little, minions that were around him at that moment in episode 6. Now, for his daughter, she's so excited, that she knows that her father is Black Lightning, to know, that all these years, of course, not once does she actually have an issue with him keeping it from her. She kind of understands that part, which I like that because she's older. Granted, when his other daughter eventually finds out, what's going to, she might not feel the same way. Who's to say? I can't really say that, but I like that they're mature about that. Like, why couldn't you tell us, we were family? But in the end, if people know that they knew who he was or his real identity could be used. So it's kind of like good that they don't have any clue, so to speak. Now, she wants to go out there, team up with her dad. And he's like, pull your brakes. It's not going to happen like that. We're not doing that. You need to just, stop, hold. He's already upset with her when he finds out that she, blew up that mural. And then secondly, you're bringing information, the stuff that his father used to work on, from a person who was a family friend, played David Poe's character. Now, you're not thinking all these other people knowing, and he told her, he says, you need to watch yourself. Don't come back here. There's always someone watching. And hence, there's always someone watching. You see, in the fact when he goes to visit, because he tells, go see him, not in your costume, go see him as yourself. Check up on him to make sure he's okay, because he basically told her, anything could happen, we're not safe, whatever. If they think that anybody's watching them, they could always have people watching them, and sure enough they were, because he ends up having an accident where he's supposedly hit by a car, unsuspectedly, and she's just left there finally understand what that man was saying, because at the time when she needed information in regards to any research that her grandfather did, he didn't want to give it to her. She basically made him feel guilty about that, and he ended up giving it to her anyway, and with that he lost his life. So she has to understand his ramifications. Her father's explaining that to her, and she's kind of understanding, okay, I'm just jumping out there, slightly like a hothead, and I need to be more aware of the things I'm doing because it does have a ripple effect, and this hence is what happens. So it's like he's going to have to show her that, on top of other things, being that after a discussion he has with Lynn, she's like, she's always been like this. She's always been a little girl who gets up, falls down, gets up with her, and all. She's stubborn. and you need to teach her. He doesn't want to do it because, of course, Lynn kept putting in his mind, oh, I'm like an addict. I keep doing this. And he's like, no, no. I understand what I said, but in the end, our daughter has powers. It's kind of past my personal feelings. This is about our family. If that means she has it, we already know we need to check our other daughter's blood. Anissa already, we know. Jennifer's next up. If she has it, we know it's going to happen. We need to get in front of this. You need to train her. You need to teach her. Hence, he's going to have a talk with her. Same thing with Peter Gamby. She asks him for a favor. He ends up deciding to design a suit for her. She's all excited. She's feeling she's, being well received, that they're willing to work with her, help her, and she's excited. Now, moving on to Tobias. Tobias, it seems like he's worried about situations with dealing with Lady Eve. Gamby's worried about Tobias, and Lady Eve is like, don't worry about him. I got him rolled in a little bit. Little does she know. So from there's a situation where, they're dealing with Joey Toledo. He needs to be dealt with because they feel like if they deal with Joey, then it'll bring Tobias down a little peg with and all, because the arrogance, the ego is kind of getting out of hand. And there you can tell it is a little bit with him, being the fact that it's a certain little fighting, scene, martial arts type of scene, like in a cage, setting. It's just them amongst each other. And he fights over him. Now, granted, you look at him, it's been 30, 40 plus years, like Jefferson said, he hasn't aged a day. He's taking something's not right, what's going on, because of course he's supposed to be underground, but of course he's living like, I'm good, I can get away with this, even though he knows he's a wanted man. And just a little arrogance in that fight scene, it was good, whichever and all, but it's like, if you didn't have the serum, just like Gamby said, there wouldn't be nothing, he wouldn't be a threat, but he is a threat. And they wanted to understand why the guy was fighting with him, and he was so extra strong, which, was rather comical from him. And they found out he had some green lights. So I don't know if he knows that there's who's selling it or not. I'm not sure. But it is something I'm kind of, wanting them to kind of go into more detail as more episodes go on, whatever. Because at first I thought he knew, but I don't know. I thought he knew about the product being sold. So there might be things he doesn't, know about or is not aware. So, but him, of course, dealing with his sister, trying to figure out, because Lady Eve is kind of on his back and he wants to have her dealt with it. He has to do it in a way where the powers that are above her won't come after him. So his sister kind of put something in his mind there, so well, probably a way we can do this, whichever. So in the midst of that, Peter Gamby and her, Lady Eve, meet up, and she's like, we need to deal with him, whichever, and all that. So he goes to deal with the Joey Toledo, and he does it a good way. I give it to Gamby. He has some kudos in him. The way he showed up, the way he was dressed, the hat, the mask covering his face, whatever, and all that. The whole setup was done really nicely in that particular scene. And they left a little gift for Tobias. So, of course, his sister brings it to him, Keisha, and he opens it. And, of course, it's more of that little, the premise from the story, she said, about the albino, they use this stuff, and they kill him and they use it and put it into dust, whichever. So he knows that she definitely needs to be dealt with because he's sick, because he's pissed that she took Toledo from him, and she keeps taunting him, trying to keep him in his place with fear. And from there, they're like, this needs to be handled, and Keisha has an idea. And I'll give it to her. It was a good daggone idea. Now, mind you, Jefferson is working with Bill Henderson, the guy who's, I think, the chief of the police, at the, police department. And he's kind of letting him know about Tobias. He's out there. You're thinking he's dead. No, he's not. Just like he thought that Black Lightning was gone. Hence, so it's like maybe he's, right. So he's kind of trying to figure out what's going on with that whole situation. So he kind of gets him into the fray of that. Now, not too much is going on with Jennifer. She just finds it really odd the way her sister, older sister, and her dad's acting. They're not really conversing, whatever, and all that, because they're trying to keep what they know now to themselves. Because if it gets out, Jennifer would want to know what's going on. What are you not telling me? But eventually, we know she will find out, because once it happens, whatever the scene is going to happen with her, to trigger her powers as well, being if it's, a situation from school, a situation with Khalil, we just don't know yet. This is episode 7, we have 6 more to go, so we'll have to see how that is. If it's going to be closer to the end, they might wait till season 2, we just don't know. So from there, it shows Tobias is so arrogant that he's opening up a club, so when he gets some information that, that's where Tobias is going to be, Jefferson, aka Black Lightning, takes upon himself to show up, and all of them, of course, he's like, you gotta be kidding me. So in the midst of this particular scene, this scene and another scene is happening at the same time. Shows a scene of Jill Scott, being, kind of cornered, and she has her, guys with her, and she's using them as a shield, and they're trying to shoot at her. And then you have Tobias, trying not to get killed by Black Lightning. And of course, the girl who's his sidekick, her name is Cyanide, and she actually speaks. I couldn't believe we got to hear her voice because she just gives a stare down thing, whatever, no, which isn't all that great, but it is what it is. But I wanted to see something. Granted, in the actual, what was it, commercial, they showed her looking like she was in an action sequence, and she had a little bit of a scene, not really a lot. I really hope that we get a good scene with her and his sister, I mean his daughter, excuse me, Anissa. I feel like there's going to be some sort of battle with them too, and I want to see, because we already know the capabilities of Anissa, but I want to see what Sai and I can really do, because that little scene they gave with her sliding, across the floor, shooting up, that was okay, but it wasn't enough. I need more, and I want to see more, because she looks like she's trying to give the depiction of a badass. I want to see how baddie she can be. That's just my personal opinion. Now, in the midst of the fight sequence within that club and them trying to get Tobias out of there, some of the bullets ricochet and it hits his sister. So he's trying to help her, but they're like, no, we got to get you out here. They put him in his car and they get him away. She's left there. Jefferson is pissed because he's trying to get after him. And granted, he can fly. I don't understand why he didn't fly after him. It is what it is, scratch my head on that part. But he tries to go back to save Keisha, and she doesn't want no part of it. I deliberately feel like she deliberately did that because either one, she doesn't want to be saved by him because, of what he could do to her, being that she would probably be asked questions, locked up, whatever, and then try to use her to flush out her brother. And then just, secondly, that's just to make it seem like, yeah, he's the one that killed her, whichever, and it makes him more angry and angry for Tobias. Now, of course he's going to be even more furious now, but it's just like, why would you be? You basically smothered his father, with papers, and then killed him and left him for dead. I don't condone, death like that, but it's just like, whichever, you and your sister know what you're getting yourself into, and it is what that is. So then it shows, of course, the scene with Jill Scott. She got the upper hand. Now, let's just say the certain weapons they were using shoots out a sort of lightning similar to Black Lightning, hence. Now, that was a good scene she did. She got control of one of, the gadgets and all that. But I like how they had it where the guy was inside of one of the caskets and he got her. And when you see Jefferson talking on the phone to Chief of Police Bill, he says, "You went too far." That was straight set up the way they did it, because now he's going to be hunted. As much as he's trying to hunt Tobias, now Black Lightning's going to be hunted, and now he won't believe that he was set up, because unless they show another scene and Bill sees those gadgets that were used to kill, they're going to continue now to think that Black Lightning did this. Now, Gambi, on the other hand, might find out information. That's what I feel like, and be able to figure out, okay, this is what's happening, but that means he's going to have to come clean more. Now, I saw for the next episode a little bit of the commercial, and it looks like it's getting to Gambi, and it looks like he might, that was his, what do they call, liquid courage, he might speak the truth to him. I don't know, but I feel like he needs to get out there. He might be angry, they might not want to trust him, but I think in the end they're going to trust him. But he can't lie anymore. He needs to tell what he knows, because just like Lady says, if his stuff comes out, his might too. And they know him. He used to be, I'm assuming, head of whatever this company or this corporation, whatever, and all that she worked for and that he used to work for before he retired. So I'm just looking forward to learning more and more and more. I don't think they're going to show us everything in season 1, but just enough. Granted, how Gambi came into his life as a young 12-year-old when they showed the picture from the last episode. So I want to know more from that standpoint. Secondly, just seeing them, bond, him showing Anissa more stuff and letting her learn. Like he said, he doesn't know everything, but he's going to teach her what he knows so she can have a level head. Because granted, just like they have this as their little evening thing that they do, to fight crime, they still have a life. And I like when Lynn had a conversation with Anissa, telling her, when was the last time you did something for yourself? When was the last time you went on a date? You can't make it all about this. And she's like, she wanted to put her happiness above everybody else. But then I like the scene where they showed her calling up, the girl that she met, at the library or whatever, and they sparked up a good little, rapport and conversation and a little bit of a relationship where a friendly relationship we're starting to build. So hopefully they'll bring her back into a couple of episodes where she get to know her a little bit more, because when it was one of the comic books that she brought up, she's like, oh, what is it called, the 100, and it kind of ring a little bell on me. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing that and seeing if they go into more detail about that as well. So, but yes, this was a good episode. I enjoyed it immensely. One other thing I just almost forgot towards the end, which came out of left field. If I forgot it, you all would have probably yanked me in the comment section. Latavius. That scene at the end had me scratching my head. Are you kidding me? Now, I know a friend who reads the comic books, and I will say he kind of gave me some insight into that. Being that he's killed lots of people, I think the spirits of the dead, kind of take within to his body. So when you saw Lawanda, and she makes a statement that Tobias said, was in the first episode. Yes, he says, "Do you believe in resurrection, Latavius?" And that was a scene from her saying that I recall, because I remember that scene very vividly, because he put the harpoon in. You couldn't forget that part because it was very shocking at that moment. So I'm really wanting to see is because I want to know, is he a spirit? I mean, but then I have to wonder, is there some place that they have it where they are resurrecting these people, really resurrecting them? What is this stuff that they're utilizing to do? That's why I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening with Khalil. How's he going to be able to walk? Because that's going to be a red flag right there. If anybody sees him, like, how are you walking? Your spine is severed. So it's like all these other layers and layers on the things they can do for the season, to, go into season 2. So I'm excited. I'm enjoying the season. We're already halfway through, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. You guys, like I said, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What's your take? How you feel about Lala being back. Can't get used to that name. I prefer Latavius, but whatever. Everybody has a nickname, huh? So, but other than that, I mean, I can't say Black Lightning is great. I'm enjoying this show immensely. It's doing well. It's getting such great feedback, whichever, and I'm going to continue doing my review. And with that said, you guys, I will see you on the next review. Talk to you then. Take care.